Before you toss another dollar into that green basket, there's something you need to know, because what looks like a deal at Dollar Tree might not be what it seems. Behind those neatly stacked shelves and familiar brand names are quiet tricks, hidden cuts, and choices that could cost you more than you think. This isn't just about cheap batteries or off-brand snacks. It's about expired food, fake bonus packs, and electronics that can fry your device in seconds. We're not listing random complaints. We're pulling back the curtain on the parts of Dollar Tree they hope you never notice. If you've ever thought, it's only $1, what's the risk? You're about to find out. When you walk into Dollar Tree, everything feels like a deal. Shelves are stacked with products that look just like what you'd find in a big name store, only here they're all around $1. But what most people don't realize is that a lot of those items are actually smaller versions made specifically for discount stores. They're not the full-size products you'd get at Walmart or Target. These are what the industry calls value size or downsize products, and they're made to look familiar on the outside while giving you less on the inside. For example, a bottle of name brand dish soap might look like the real thing, but it could have only half the liquid. A box of cereal might come in the same packaging style, but the weight is reduced. Companies do this to hit the price point while still keeping the package design close enough to trick your eyes. Dollar Tree works with suppliers to produce these special versions just for their stores. And unless you stop to read the ounces, the count, or the net weight, you probably won't even notice. It's easy to walk out thinking you scored a bargain, but in reality, you might have paid more per ounce than you would have at a regular store for a full-size version, and the store rarely posts unit prices on the shelf, so you can't compare it easily. Everything about the packaging is built to feel normal, to make you assume you're getting the same product you'd find anywhere else, just cheaper. But the truth is, you're often getting less product for what feels like less money, but isn't really a better deal when you break it down. Most people expect that when they buy food from any store, especially packaged snacks or frozen meals, it'll be fresh and safe to eat. But at Dollar Tree, expired food is a hidden problem that's more common than you might think. Because the store runs on very small staff and tight budgets, items often stay on shelves long after they should have been pulled. Unlike large grocery stores that have full-time stock checkers, Dollar Tree employees are stretched thin. They're running the register, unloading boxes, sweeping floors, and trying to do everything at once. That means checking expiration dates doesn't always happen the way it's supposed to. Some stores rely on customers to report expired items instead of catching them first. People have found months-old cookies, spoiled milk, and canned goods that were long past their best buy dates just sitting out like nothing was wrong. Sometimes expired food is even moved to the front of the shelf so it sells faster before anyone notices. The biggest problem is that a lot of Dollar Tree shoppers never check the date. They assume it's good because it's sealed and looks okay. But just because it's on the shelf doesn't mean it's still safe. And since many of these stores are understaffed or serve lower income areas with fewer options, some people feel like they don't have a choice but to take the risk. In the end, the only real protection is to carefully check every date yourself before buying, because the store isn't always doing it for you. When you see name brand cleaning supplies at Dollar Tree, it feels like a win. Bleach, glass cleaner, even disinfectant sprays all look just like what you'd find at a big store, only here it costs a lot less. But what most shoppers don't know is that many of these cleaning products are actually watered down versions with weaker formulas. That means they might smell the same or have similar packaging, but they don't work nearly as well. Some of the off-brand versions especially have lower concentrations of active ingredients, which are the things that actually kill germs or break down grease. So you might be using more product and scrubbing harder just to get the same result you'd get from a single wipe or spray of a stronger cleaner. In some cases, shoppers have even said they had to re-clean areas after using Dollar Tree versions because the product left streaks, residue, or just didn't cut through the dirt. This is especially common with items like window cleaner, floor cleaner, or multi-purpose sprays. Dollar Tree works with suppliers to hit that low price point, and sometimes that means cutting corners on the actual ingredients. If you check the label, you might see that the product has way less of the cleaning agents used in name brand formulas. But since most people don't compare chemical breakdowns, they assume it's the same stuff. It's not. And while it seems like you're saving money, you're often using more and getting less cleaning power, which makes the cheap version cost more in the long run. Most stores let you return an item if it's broken, defective, or just not what you expected, but Dollar Tree plays by a completely different set of rules that a lot of people don't realize until it's too late. At Dollar Tree, all sales are considered final. That means if you buy something and it doesn't work, or you get home and realize it's damaged, or even if you simply change your mind, you can't get your money back. The best they'll offer is an exchange for a different item, and even that depends on the store manager. So if you bought a 5-pack of batteries that turned out to be dead, dead, or a phone charger that stopped working after 5 minutes, you're stuck unless you're willing to swap it for something else from the store, and you're not getting your cash or card refund. A lot of shoppers assume the return policy is like other retail chains where you can bring back almost anything with a receipt, but at Dollar Tree, the policy is printed small, posted near the register, and rarely mentioned unless you ask. The store protects itself by making everything seem like it's only $1, so the risk feels small. But when you add up a few purchases that go wrong, it turns into real money. And the worst part is, even if the item is clearly broken or unopened, they can still say no. This return policy gives the store all the power and leaves customers with no safety net. So unless you're 100% sure it works, you're basically gambling with every purchase you make. When you're buying over-the-counter medicine from a store like Dollar Tree, the packaging can look almost identical to name brand versions. You'll see pain relievers, allergy pills, cold medicine, and more, all with labels that say things like compared to Tylenol or similar to Benadryl. But what most people don't realize is that while the main active ingredient might be the same, the inactive ingredients, which affect how the medicine works in your body, can be completely different. That might not seem like a big deal, but for people with allergies, sensitivities, or even specific medical conditions, those inactive ingredients can cause problems. Some of the fillers or coatings used in cheaper store brand medicine can make it harder to absorb, take longer to work, or cause side effects that you wouldn't get with the original version. And because these products are made by different manufacturers, the quality control and consistency might not always be reliable. A box of pain relievers you buy 1 month might work fine, and the next month it might feel like nothing's happening, even though the label looks the same. Dollar Tree doesn't tell you who actually makes these medications, and you won't find any detailed explanation on the box unless you really know what to look for. Most shoppers don't compare ingredient lists side by side, they just see a lower price and grab it. But when it comes to your health, saving a few dollars could mean taking something that doesn't work as expected or gives you a bad reaction. And if something feels off, there's no return policy to fall back on. You're stuck with it. It's easy to get excited when you see phone chargers, headphones, and power banks at Dollar Tree for just $1 or so, especially when those same items cost $10 or $15 at other stores. But what most people don't know is that many of these electronics are made with cheap materials that can break fast, or even be dangerous. A lot of the charging cables sold at Dollar Tree have thinner wiring, weak connections, or low-quality plugs that bend or fray after just a few uses. Some people have reported that their phones stopped charging entirely, or even showed overheating warnings after using one of these cords. It's not just about things breaking, it's about safety. In a few cases, off-brand electronics from discount stores have sparked, melted, or shorted out during use. And even if something doesn't break right away, it could charge your device way slower than usual or drain your battery life over time. The packaging doesn't make this clear. Most of it looks generic and might say compatible with iPhone or Android devices without explaining what standards it actually meets. Dollar Tree buys these in bulk from manufacturers that often skip higher safety standards to keep costs down, and the result is a product that might not last even a week. It's not like buying from a trusted brand where you can read reviews or get a warranty. At Dollar Tree, if it stops working, or worse, damages your device, you can't return it, and you're on your own. So that $1 charger might end up being the most expensive mistake in your cart. Most people trust that frozen food stays frozen from the warehouse all the way to the store freezer, but at Dollar Tree, that's not always the case. What many shoppers don't realize is that some of the frozen items on the shelves may have thawed and refrozen before you ever pick them up. This usually happens during delivery. Dollar Tree stores often don't have large receiving areas or temperature-controlled docks like full-size grocery chains. That means frozen goods can sit outside for long periods before getting unloaded, especially in hot weather or if a truck is running late. If the food softens even a little, then refreezes later, it can change the texture, taste, and even safety of the product. You might not see it right away, but the ice crystals, soggy packaging, or oddly shaped frozen meals are all signs that something thawed out and then got cold again. This can affect everything from frozen vegetables and pizzas to meat-based products and desserts. In some cases, the food may still be technically safe to eat, but the quality is way off. Other times, it could lead to freezer burn or uneven cooking, which becomes a problem once you get it home. Since Dollar Tree runs with small crews and very tight storage spaces, employees don't always have the time or equipment to check for these issues. That leaves you with frozen food that looks normal on the outside, but might be a gamble inside. And since you can't return anything, you'll have to decide if saving $1 is worth taking that chance. When you buy food from Dollar Tree, especially store brand or unfamiliar labels, it's easy to assume it comes from the same types of suppliers used by big grocery stores. But what most shoppers don't know is that some of these food items are made by manufacturers that don't list where they're from, how they're regulated, or even what quality standards they follow. Many of these products are produced overseas or through low-cost vendors that focus more on keeping prices low than meeting strict inspection guidelines. That means the ingredients, safety controls, and cleanliness of the factories they come from are not always guaranteed to match what you'd expect from a typical name brand item. Sometimes you'll pick up a canned good or a packaged snack and there's no clear brand, no website, and barely any contact information on the label. That's a red flag. The packaging might look normal, but you don't know where the food was made or how it was handled. In some cases, products have even been found with translation errors or outdated nutrition labels, which shows they were repackaged or relabeled to meet basic US requirements, but not much more. Dollar Tree brings these items in because they're cheap, and cheap is the name of the game. But with food, cutting corners in the supply chain can come with real risks. If there's a recall, there's often no easy way to trace it. If the taste seems off or the quality feels weird, there's usually no one to contact. You're basically eating on blind trust, and at a store that doesn't take returns, you've already paid whether the food is good or not. When you see a product at Dollar Tree with a bright sticker that says bonus pack or now with 20% more, it feels like you're getting a special deal. It looks like they're giving you extra product for the same low price, and that kind of label is made to catch your eye. But here's what they don't tell you. Sometimes that bonus pack is actually just the regular size that used to be sold before it got shrunk. In other words, you're not getting more, you're just getting what used to be standard. Dollar Tree often changes the size of items to keep up with rising costs. That means a pack of batteries that used to come with 6 now has 4. A box of sandwich bags that had 40 might now have 25. Then they release a bonus version with 30 bags and act like it's a deal when really it's just less than the original size from a few years ago. It's a trick called shrinkflation, and it's everywhere. But at Dollar Tree, the bonus pack label is used to cover it up. It makes you think you're getting more for your money, but in reality, you're still getting less than you used to. The packaging is meant to distract you from reading the actual count or weight, and most shoppers don't stop to compare. They just see the word bonus and feel like it's a win. But if you go back and look at older versions of the same product, you'll realize you're being sold less and told it's more. It's not a bonus, it's a rerun in a new outfit. A lot of people still walk into Dollar Tree expecting everything to cost $1, but that hasn't been true for a while. What's worse is that some stores still display old signs and shelf tags that make it seem like the original pricing is still in place, even though many items now cost well above that. You'll see banners that say everything's $1 or stickers on shelves that haven't been updated to match the new prices. But when you get to the register, suddenly the total is higher than you expected, and that's when you realize you've been picking up items that cost $1.25, $1.50, or even $5 in some locations. Dollar Tree quietly rolled out this price increase while calling it a way to expand value, but what they didn't do was make the new pricing model clear in every store. Some locations use vague labels like Dollar Tree Plus or Value Zone, which sound harmless but are meant to hide the fact that prices have gone up while the quality hasn't always followed. And unless you're carefully reading the tiny numbers on every shelf tag, you won't notice until your wallet feels it. This creates confusion, especially for loyal shoppers who haven't visited in a while and think they're still walking into the old $1 model. It also makes it easier for the store to move items around without updating the labels, so you end up thinking you found a cheap deal when you actually grabbed something way more expensive than you planned. The result is a store that looks like it's giving you the same value, but in reality, it's quietly taking more from you while pretending nothing has changed. So next time you walk into Dollar Tree thinking it's just cheap and easy, think again. From sneaky packaging to surprise price hikes, what you don't see can cost you more than a few bucks. Now that you know what's really going on, you won't fall for it again. But we want to hear from you. Have you ever bought something at Dollar Tree that didn't work, went bad, or turned out to be totally different than what you expected? Drop your story in the comments. The more we talk about it, the harder it is for stores to keep this stuff hidden. And if this video opened your eyes, hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started.